It'll be chilly tomorrow morning.
Production assistance for Inside Edition provided by...
Next time you need a heartburn medicine, choose the
Conditions will be anywhere from dusting up to 2 inches. Temperatures will hover around the low 30s. It should turn back into rain tomorrow morning, and nothing will stay on the ground for long as the temperature gets into the low 40s. And of course, we'll have the rest of the exclusive AccuWeather forecast for you in just a few minutes. Earlier in the day, the Delaware Valley was faced with rain and high winds. The action cam was in Ocean City this afternoon, where the weather combined with the tide to cause minor flooding. Down in Sea Isle City, flooding was also a problem. The surf washed out makeshift dunes along the beach. Sea Isle shoreline is still recovering from that string of nor'easters that hit over the winter. And in Camden, one of the regular trouble spots was underwater again. This is the Admiral Wilson Boulevard this afternoon. Of course, roads are still wet tonight, and with the temperature approaching freezing, you should take extra care if you are driving. Down south, the toll from yesterday's sudden tornadoes is simply staggering. Around Gainesville, Georgia alone, 11 people are dead, dozens more are hurt, 41 houses are destroyed, as are 29 mobile homes, and it's all from just one tornado. Emergency management officials toured the tattered town today, and they say it wasn't just the power of the twister, but its sudden appearance that made it deadly.
There was no way to give a warning on this storm. This storm was not picked up on radar until the tornado was on the ground and the damage was already done. There was no way for anybody from the National Weather Service to the local agencies to have given anybody any warning on this storm.
Say they've never seen anything like this storm before and hope they never do again. And the sentiments are similar tonight in Stoneville, North Carolina. That same weather system spawned a tornado here. It killed 2 people and tore apart the town's main street. Officials here say every building on the street received some kind of damage. They say 80% of the structures in the entire town were hurt by the twister, and that they think that most of them will never be repaired. All right, here now is the latest on the talks between SEPTA and the Transport Workers Union. Any progress in the negotiations is coming in very small steps. And tonight there is the possibility that buses might not be running for the Monday morning rush. Let's get all the details now from Action News reporter Matt O'Donnell, who is live at the Franklin Plaza Hotel in Center City. Matt.
Well, that's right, Rick. The union tells us that there will not be a strike tonight. There won't be a strike tomorrow, but it said it would not make any predictions about Monday morning. We can also tell you that the union and SEPTA held news conferences here in the media room in the hotel, and the impressions that we got from both were completely different. Transport Workers Union business agent Bruce Bodner said he was hopeful that SEPTA negotiators would accept the union's latest proposal offered this afternoon. He says it would bring $3 million in savings, $9 million less than what SEPTA wants.
And hopefully what we've done today will bear fruit tomorrow when we do have another face-to-face meeting with the authority.
Then, 15 minutes later, SEPTA lead counsel David Cohen walked in and said this about what is the union's 6th proposal.
We've had a quick chance to look at it, and I think I can characterize it in a couple of words: totally unacceptable.
Cohen says the numbers just don't add up. As for the negotiations, Cohen says the only thing both sides were able to agree upon today was to not rename the Burridge bus shop in Hunting Park. The shop was named after deceased SEPTA supervisor Charles Burridge. That seemingly trivial issue became an issue when SEPTA and the union couldn't agree on whether to change the shop's name or not. All in all, Cohen says progress since the union's contract expired 1 week ago tonight has been nil.
If you compare where we were Saturday night, Sunday morning, and where we are right now, I think it is fair to say that at best we are in the same place, and that it is probably more accurate to characterize us as being further apart.
A very different statement from what Bruce Bodner said just minutes earlier.
We do have a sense of hope that we're going to be able to resolve this. There's a lot of people, there's an increasing number of people who are growing concerned about what's happening here.
But once again, no strike tonight, no strike tomorrow, but the union wasn't making any guarantees about Monday morning. No face-to-face negotiations are scheduled for tomorrow, but the SEPTA negotiating team said it would be here bright and early at 8 a.m. if there are any negotiations that could come out in the morning. For now, I'm Matt O'Donnell, live on the Action Cam in Center City.
All right, Matt, thank you. In other news tonight, a 21-year-old man is hospitalized in critical condition after being shot by a Philadelphia police officer. This was the scene here in the 5100 block of North Camac Street in Logan around 8:30 p.m. Officers were investigating a call of a man with a gun. When police arrived, they found the armed suspect. Moments later, police opened fire, hitting the unidentified man in the chest. He was rushed to Albert Einstein Medical Center. No word yet if the man ever fired at police. The shooting is under investigation. And gunfire inside a West Philadelphia delicatessen has left a man in guarded condition tonight. Happened just before 8:30 here in the 5300 block of Pine Street. Police say two men inside the deli were arguing when one suddenly pulled a gun and shot the other in the stomach. The victim was transported to the University of Pennsylvania Medical Center. No word yet on his identity. The gunman has yet to be taken into custody. An emotional confrontation today at a suspected drug house in Logan. It's the site of a shooting Thursday that left a teenage girl dead. Today, officials removed the man who had been illegally living in the home. Neighbors say he's behind recent drug activity inside the house. The mother of 14-year-old Latoya Brown wanted to meet face-to-face with him, saying he is responsible for the death of her daughter. But the suspect wore a knit cap as police arrested him for illegal gas hookup. He gave Brown's family no response. It was just a few days ago when Latoya was shot outside the alleged crack house. It's believed she was killed in a deadly game of Russian roulette.
This ever happen again to no mother or child, ever. Nobody deserved to go down like this.
Neighbors were under the impression the house was supposed to be vacant. Now residents want the house boarded up to prevent another tragedy like the death of Latoya Brown. A suspicious house fire in West Oak Lane remains under investigation tonight. It was just before 2 o'clock this afternoon when flames ignited inside the 1900 block of Penfield Street. A woman inside the house was rushed to the hospital after jumping from a second-story window to escape the flames. The fire was eventually brought under control, but officials are looking into the possibility that someone threw a firebomb through the window of the house. Security was tight at St. Joe's University today for the Public League All-Star Game. Spectators had to go through metal detectors as they arrived on campus for the big game. University officials were taking no chances, doing everything possible to avoid the type of violence that erupted outside the Palestra 3 weeks ago, following the Public League Basketball Championships. One man was killed here, 3 people were hurt. The gunman eventually turned himself in. Police report no incidents during or after today's game. Controversy tonight surrounding a new ad campaign in Philadelphia for birth control. Is it possible to prevent pregnancy with a telephone? That's the claim of the new advertisement. Action News reporter Michele McCormick has the story.
At first glance, you'd think a phone is the way to prevent unwanted pregnancy. Actually, it's a listing of the hotline 1-888-NOT-TOO-LATE, a directory of healthcare professionals who can prescribe special doses of birth control pills to prevent a fertilized egg from planting itself into the uterine wall.
It's wonderful to have this for those people who realize that they've had unprotected intercourse and don't want to become pregnant. So it's something that can be taken within 72 hours of unprotected intercourse and can prevent you from becoming pregnant.
This is old news in Europe, which has been using day-after pills for years. The American advertisement campaign comes on the heels of recent approval by the Food and Drug Administration, and these signs are raising red flags in the anti-abortion movement.
This emergency contraception is yet one new plan to get rid of children in a culture that endorses recreational sex. It not only endorses it, but it also promotes it.
The Urban Family Council is suspicious that nausea and abnormal bleeding are the only side effects, and fears not enough testing has been done in America. But the sponsor of the ads, the Health Technologies Project, which claims not to represent the makers of the pills, says the double dosage prescription is 75% effective. Their switchboards are now waiting to see how effective the ads will be. Michele McCormick, Channel 6 Action News.
And coming up on Action News tonight, the latest legal battle brewing between the president and independent counsel Kenneth Starr. Later, a warning for motorists concerning a cute sight that can also be very dangerous. In sports, Phil Andrews with the latest scores in March Madness and the AccuWeather forecast with more on tonight's snow. That and more when Action News comes right back.